Hello, good people. It is Thursday, 2 days after the election, and it is a good day. I think it's like 80 degrees here, cloudy, slight overcast. That comes and goes as the clouds move upon the sky. But it's good weather, praise God. Glad to be here, glad to be alive. Grateful that the Most High woke me up this morning and gave me another chance to be better today than I was yesterday. I must say that I am extremely disappointed. Hey, who's on the live? With the reactions of people after the election. And I don't really necessarily want to talk about the election or post-election stuff, but I just got to get this off my chest. It's nothing serious, nothing deep, just interesting to see the way a lot of these Democrats, specifically the female demographic, the way they are behaving online and just in public. And it's really interesting. I didn't expect to see so much vitriol. Like, I saw a couple of posts on IG. I mean, IG right now, it's a Kamala platform. Like, everything that comes across my feed is, all about, how women's rights are now going to be taken away and how we're all going back to slavery. And so it's just funny to see. It's actually kind of disheartening to know that this many people in the world are this upset and this bothered and triggered and just don't use common sense or brain cells. I just don't understand. Like, Trump was in office in 2016. Did any of the things that you guys are saying that's going to happen, did that happen before? No, it didn't. So, I mean, it's just crazy. I think women have to understand that Kamala was just using you. She was using you guys. She was tugging on your heartstrings, trying to make you guys feel a certain kind of way. And it worked, but not good enough. It wasn't enough. Hey, Abandoned Zone. What up, SK Suman? But I saw a lady put that she hopes a hurricane comes to the states that voted for Trump. Hey, Pravin. Hey, Vicky. And then another one said that she's going to save her prayers for all the Republicans. If you feel that way in your heart, honey, I don't want your prayers. You can keep your prayers. No, thank you. Because those prayers will actually turn into curses coming from somebody like you. I just think it's really funny how they paint Republicans a certain way, but yet the actions of the Democrats are showing exactly what it is they accuse the Republicans of doing. That's the funny part. Hey, Vicky, I'm trying. I am trying, I got to work out. I wear workout clothes all the time as motivation to work out. Because if I don't put this on, then most likely I'm not going to do it. So I put it on. That way I'm forced to do it, It's like accountability. So I'm going to work out today once I get back from my son's appointment. And sugar. You got to cut out sugar. Although I had some sugar today because I had a big salad. I said, I deserve this piece of chocolate. I don't care. And I'm not even a chocolate person, but it had caramel and nuts in the middle. So I was like, I got to have this. And instead of buying a whole Twix bar, I just got one of the single caramel things that they sell. I was like, let me just get one. That way I don't eat the whole thing. So I'd be trying, but my body reacts to things very, very quickly. Hey, SK. Hey, Aledi Jimenez. I got a homeboy named Jimenez. I'm from Cali. But yeah, my body reacts to anything very, very quickly. My son does too. So probably in an hour or so, I'll have like a pimple here or here on my face just from eating that chocolate, because sugar does something bad to me. Oh, thanks, Vicky. It's just a tank top, just a raggedy old tank top. That's it. But yeah, the climate around the world is very, very different. And I'm talking about like just the climate of the people, like everybody's temperature, how they're feeling and how they are moving. It's just been really eerie over the last couple days. And somebody called me last night whining and complaining about the election and the results. And I think she called me because she assumed that because I am a black woman that I was automatically voting for Kamala. And so I didn't correct her. I let her vent. I let her vent. I let her get it off her chest. You know, but this is just a reflection of what America thinks about women. You know, and I just sat there and I listened and I let her get it all out. And I just told her, said, hey, did you do your part? Did you vote? She said, of course. I said, are you spreading the message? Were you trying to get people to see things the way that you see them? And, you know, were you rallying for the candidate that you wanted? She says, absolutely. I said, well, then you did your job. I said, you did all you can do. At this point, why are we complaining about spilled milk? There's only so much we can do in this world. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Amir Amira. There's only so much we could do in this world. And certain things we just can't control. And then she asked, did you see it going this way? I said, honestly, I didn't see it going anyway, because it's a 50-50 chance. It's not like we had a whole bunch of candidates to choose from and each person had a narrow chance of making it. No, it could have went either this way or that. There was no. So the fact that he won really should not be that much of a surprise. But I think because of all of the celebrity endorsements and things like that. Hey, DMW. I think because of all of the celebrity endorsements and all of the rhetoric online, that people felt like she had it in the bag, you know. But I don't think they took into account how the American people, us right down here on earth, not that earth, but right here on this earth, felt about things. And so, you know, what up, Ace? Look at Ace out there doing his thing. Y'all check out DMW Shots page and Ace the OG. Both of them be spitting that game. OG is out here throwing stuff. Man, his last video just went well, it's going viral. It's gonna go, because you be talking about stuff that is relevant. And so if you guys are starting out your channel and you're new, get your gems from him. This man started like 7-8 months ago, and he already has over 2,000 subscribers, and some of his videos have topped over 5,000 views. His last one was like already at 7, and he just put that video out like yesterday or the day before. So make sure you check him out. Keep doing your thing, Ace. We appreciate ya. And you talk about stuff that's like, you know, that a lot of people don't want to talk about, you know. Like he had a video talking about men, you know, and what men need to do, and GZ men, how Gen Z men are not real men. I appreciated that, because you were being honest. And the whole time, honestly, I was thinking about not my son. See, and I call him my son. He's my brother, but he's 15 years younger than me. So he feels like my son, you know what I'm saying? Because I have to son him all the time. And he just don't get it. He don't get it. Like, as you were saying, all those things about what they do and what they ain't doing, I just kept thinking about him and my other brother. And my other brother, my dad stepped out on my mom, got with his high school sweetheart. They had a kid. They've been together for the last 30 years, had him, and he ain't doing nothing. And I'm just like, this is crazy. So it's like, I always battle with that, because I have a son. I don't ever want him to turn out that way. So I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing as a single parent and a woman, but I don't know if that's going to be enough, honestly. You know, I do everything I can. I get him around men. I have him involved in sports, you know, church, things like that. So he's around strong men, and I make sure I point out all of the men that are doing something in their community, like our mayor here, stuff like that. But I don't know. That's only a cogitation. What's a cogitation? I've never heard of that word before. What up, King LBB? Yes, I love editing. I love to edit. I do. I love editing. I love creating thumbnails. I think I'm pretty okay with thumbnails, but editing, I'm getting better. I use CapCut for the most part. I used to use WeVideo for the longest time, and then CapCut was just easier, and they have more options. There you go. Tap in. Thanks for sharing that, Shots. Yeah, you guys tap into Ace OG's channel. really positive brother, Christian, just like DMW shots, you know. And I like the fact that they incorporate God into their message. You know what I'm saying? It's not Bible thumping. It's not preach. But the things that they say, oftentimes they can back it up with scripture or with things that we know God will want for us. So tap in, because we need that. Like, that's the problem with society. Like, we really, if you look at now to back in the day, what are we missing? We're missing God. We're missing God, because no matter who is the president of the United States, who do we, him. We're accountable for what we do to God. Ain't got nothing to do with the president of the United States. The president is just a man. Just a man. Man, woman, man. We are accountable to God, not to man. So honestly, you know, the fact that we have this president and a lot of people are upset about it, that should have no bearing on your everyday life. Period. If you do what's right, there will be less consequences. You do what's wrong, you got to pay the price. Simple as that. All you could do is the best you can, what's within your scope and what's in your household. Control the things you can control, which is why I have the serenity prayer tattooed on me. Because I have to accept, and that's what I told my homegirl that called me last night crying. I was like, yo, I said, at the end of the day, you just need to recite the serenity prayer and know that certain things you can't change. I said, you got Trump in office. Is there anything you can do about it? She said, no. I said, exactly. I said, work on the things you can control, and the things you can't, you got to let it fly. That's right. God is still in control. No matter what's going on, he's always in control. And she said that to me. She said, well, why would God allow that to happen? I mean, do you think God would want somebody dictating what women could do? And I wanted so bad to say, do you think God would be okay with women aborting their children after 6 months in the womb? Guess what, people? Just like we was the clump of cells in your mama's womb, we're still a clump of cells right now. There's no difference. And I'm not judging anybody that's ever had an AB. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, look at it from the aspect of right and wrong and what God says. Period. So when you guys are all for Kamala and then you want to bring God in the mix, you got to really think. Think about what you're saying before you speak, because you sound dumb, just to be honest. All right, shots up to Ace OG. Oh, Shots, you gonna love his channel. Because he be talking about the stuff you be talking about sometimes. Like when you have guests on and they be getting into that red pill type stuff, it's in line with that. He's not a red pill content, which is also why I appreciate him. Because Ace, he's not very harsh. And I know sometimes people like harsh and some people need harsh, right? But overall, he doesn't have that demeanor. He can explain things and give his point of view without being offensive. Now, of course, we know people are always going to take offense, right? Especially, you know, if the shoe fit, right? And it's like, oh, she's talking about me. But his tone and the way he delivers it is actually and it's the way God, I think, would want us to, you know, out of love and not out of spite. Like there's a lot of men online that just, I mean, you could tell they just don't like women, right? And you could tell they're not getting any. So they use all of that anger, that pent up frustration from having blue balls, and they just come online and then they, you know, either that or they can't get the one that they want. You know what I'm saying? But I could tell Ace is very well taken care of because he delivers it from a space of concern and you know. So anyways, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of God missing. That's it. That's what we're missing. Everything that goes on in this earth is all spiritual. You know, people have been cutting me off left and right, but guess what? It's all spiritual. You know why? Because if it does something to me, how I react is a display of my faith in God and how I feel about other people, you know? So I try to keep that in mind. Like I may cut somebody out, but I'm not going to go back and try to cut them off again and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? I just have to release it and let it go, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's teaching me something, patience. Just like Trump being in office, I think it's teaching a lot of people to have patience and to have faith. And when things like this happen, you have to put your faith in God. You know, if you're fearful of something, you got to go to him. If you think the world's going to hell because Trump's in office, then you better get on your knees. You know, so I think hopefully I'm praying that, you know, the way that people are taking it in will be something that will push them further to God. If you guys get what I'm saying. Yes, double tap the screen, y'all. Yeah, slap that like. You can't control upper power, but your life is in your control. That's right, Vicky. Always believes in God. It gives you strength. Absolutely. You know, there's so many people that are thinking about unaliving themselves and just lonely and been out of shape and can't find a job, can't support themselves, you know, lost their licenses, the DUIs, and just all kind of, like, people be going through in shelters. I mean, all kind of stuff, right? But if you put your faith in God, it could do miracles. It could turn around. But I think a lot of people are just too prideful to get on their knees and actually pray for help. Yeah, and that's a shame. Prideful. And a lot of times people think that they've done so much that's bad in life that they can't go to him. And that's not true. God always wants you to come back. Always. Always. Everything that happens in this life is for a reason. There is a lesson in everything. Even when things don't go our way, there is a reason why. But you got to stay close and connected to him in order to even understand. So you're going to go through things, right? But if you don't develop a relationship with God, you ain't going to understand why you're going through that. You just going to think, you know, why is God punishing me? Rather than cleaving to him, staying close to him. You have to. Otherwise, it won't make sense. You'll just be a victim. And then you'll be constantly talking about the same thing over and over again. Who did you dirty and why and all this other stuff. You're not really believing in God. You don't have no faith. You feel sorry for yourself. You know, that's a pitiful spirit. And I'm pretty sure God detests that. So we just have to be positive, you know. Earlier, I was thinking about Stain said, you don't know how much I need these words right now. Good, Stain. I'm glad I'm saying something that you can use. Because it's true. I'm a testimony. Like, I only talk about stuff that I can relate to and that has, you know, worked for me. And over the last 3 years, let's see. Over the last 4 years, actually, a lot of things haven't gone the way that I want, you know? But when I started developing a relationship, a better relationship, because I've always known God, a better relationship with him, it was revealed just like that. Like, dang it. And it would just come to me like a small voice that says, Mo, this is exactly why this and this didn't happen. And it'll all make sense. But you got to stay connected to him in order to even hear that voice, you know? He will never leave. He wants us all to come back to him. He wants us all to come back to him, no matter what you've done in life, you know? Changed behavior. An apology, repentance, yeah, that's one thing. But you got to actually change what it is that you're doing, you know? So that's how I try to live. But I was thinking about earlier how I miss being home. I'm from San Diego, guys. Always believe in God, yeah. It's only just an option. Surrender to God's will and let him guide you. We can't do it, but we can't do it by ourselves. We think we can. That's the funny thing. We think we so powerful and so strong. I could do this. I got this. I don't need nobody. Not true. And God put other people on this planet for us to use. We're supposed to use each other and be there for each other, depend on each other, lean on each other. You know, God didn't just create Eve for, you know, for her to just be there and look pretty. No. Use her for support. Like, come on, people. Let's get it together. But I was thinking to myself how much I miss home, like, just because, like, the weather is really nice, right? So sometimes if there's, like, a slight breeze and it's, like, a perfect weather where I don't need a jacket or anything like that, and it ain't too hot, I think about home, you know? And, you know, honestly, like, the best conversations that I have are with people on here. And I was thinking about how shameful that is, you know? because it's like I want to go home where I'm familiar and I know people and my family is there. If I get bored or whatever, I could always just go to my dad's, or I can go talk to my aunt, or I could go see, you know, some classmates from back in the day or something like that. Like, I think that would be real cool, you know. And then if I don't want to be bothered, I could just go home, you know. But being here where I'm at in Virginia, this place is just not it, you know. But I also have to think about, you know, how I have a home, how I have finances, and how my son is healthy and how he's thriving here, you know. So I'm trying to see just the positives of it all, you know. And I have friends. I have like 3, like maybe 2 or 3, but they're not here. They're geographically away from me, right? So all I could do is talk to them and then see them every so often, right? But it's just hard because I just don't feel like I relate to many people, just period, at all, you know. So it's hard to make friends, it's hard to keep friends, it's hard to build relationships, you know. And I'm one of those kind of people, I think, that people can be around because I'm just cool and I just go with the flow for the most part. You know, I know when it's not time to talk, and I know when it's time to be engaged, and I know when it's time to just chill type stuff, right? So people don't mind being around me, but I don't like being around people for long periods of time. Like, if I go on vacation, after like a day or 2, I need space. You know, if I go and I'm staying at your house for a while, I need space. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, there was only 2 people on this planet that I could be around 24/7. Well, 3, you know, and those people are no longer in my life, you know? So, that type of energy and personality, I don't find that very often, you know. And I think it's shameful that I have to come on here and get, you know, like dialogue that resonates with me and that I feel kind of full off of, you know. But it is what it is. I'm gonna have to join a hiking group or something like that, or some people that, you know, that like some of the same things that I do. I'm thinking maybe like a book club or something like that. I'm gonna have to find a book club locally to where I can actually sit and be around like actual other people and have conversations and stuff like that. Because just being tethered to my phone or social media is not living. That's not life, you know. Like I said before, God put us all on this planet so that we could be here for each other. Yep. You know, when you want to move on, then sudden life throws you back. So brave you look. Yeah, life will throw you. Listen, my auntie used to tell my mom all the time, and my mom used to quote it to us. She'd say, just keep on living. Because you turn around, it's always going to be something else. It's going to always be something. Life's going to throw you curveballs. It's going to always be something. Even when things seem perfect, boom, you get a phone call and somebody need bail money. You know, just anything. It's always something. So you gotta be ready. And the only way to be ready, honestly, the best way to be ready is just to be prayed up and just connected with God. Because the more connected you are with God, the easier it is for you to handle all of these curveballs that come your way. 3 years ago, I'd have been out of here. The stuff that has happened to me in the last 3 years, I would have been done for. I would not be on YouTube, or I'll be on here making a spectacle of myself. And I'll probably have 10 million followers because of the stuff that I was thinking. If I was to say it on here back then, man, I would be killing it. Because I would be saying anything. You know, that toxic mind? Boy, I tell you what. But being close to God has brought me down. I don't think so highly of myself as I did before. YouTube, it is therapy, because you can get, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't told nobody I miss home, and you know what I'm saying? And I feel lonely, you know what I'm saying? I told that to my therapist like 2 months ago, but there was only so much she could do, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to take them pills, so it's like, man. So it's like, you get on here and you just kind of, you know, I'm selective as far as like what I'm transparent about. I always have to think twice about what it is that I want to share and how I want to share it, because a lot of that stuff can be thrown back at you and used against you. And plus, everybody don't need to know everything about you, right? So I share little tidbits about me, but I think I'm pretty open for the most part. Just a phone call through a damn throw you a damn back. I don't get it. You mean like just a phone call away? Just like call somebody? Yeah, it's different. Like I'm not a phone person. Like I don't like to, I just don't like to talk on the phone a lot. I just don't, but I call like my auntie who's 90 something. I call her to check on her. My niece, they'll call me sometimes and I'll talk to them or whatever. But I'm not I don't like sitting on the phone just talking for a long time. And if I do, I'd like to be on FaceTime where I can see your face. That way I feel more connected. But just talking on the phone, it's just not my thing. I'd rather see you in person, or FaceTime. But yeah, YouTube can be therapy, but that could be dangerous too, telling everything on here because you might end up getting some bad advice, But I think every once in a while it's cool to throw something out there and to get feedback from people, which is why I like doing this channel, so that I could just hear other people's perspective. Like when I talk about my son, you guys come in the chat and you guys kind of chime in and say, hey, you need to be doing this with him, you need to do that, or don't do that, or whatever. That type of stuff, I appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? Because I be listening. I listen, you know what I'm saying? I have people in my life, men in my life, that have given me some really great feedback when it comes to raising my son, and other women who have adult sons that are productive and positive in society doing something. I lean on them too for advice on how they dealt with stuff. So YouTube is good. I'm grateful for it. What do you think about the wages these days, and how can we be happy in society full of people trying to show off and not being humble? Yeah, that's when you have to first of all, you got to break down the difference between showing off and not being humble, because there's a difference between being proud of yourself and then showing what it is that you're accomplishing to garner inspiration for others, right? Versus those that just talk about everything they got to like show off. Like you could tell the spirit behind and the intentionality behind somebody that just talks about, the things that they've accomplished. So there's a difference, and honestly, it's not a their problem. That's a you problem. Like if it bothers you and it's triggering you, that's probably a sign that you're not where you want to be in life. If it bothers you, so you got to look inward and see where you at in life and what it is that you could be doing. And another thing too, like me, I'm trying to get off of social media so much and helping other people become rich rather than working on what I got to work on to make myself become rich, because I'll get on there and I'll see a bunch of stuff doing this and that. And it's like, ooh, that's good. I need to do that. Maybe I should try that or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here supporting their stuff when I could be actually implementing all the stuff that I've watched online. I could be doing it myself, So don't look at it as that. Take it in a positive way. If it's excessive and every time you turn around, they're talking about, ooh, I just got this new ring or this, then just unfollow. I would do that, especially if it makes you feel some kind of way, but also look inward and look at yourself and to figure out why it makes you feel some kind of way. Because I promise it's not about them at all. It's all about you. Hey, Emily, what you doing, girl? How you been? I'm good. How are you? Justify people is too justify people? What do you mean by justify people is too dangerous? Explain that one, Vicky. But yeah, I think that's what social media is made for, is for people to show like their accomplishments and what they're doing. I think that's really, originally like Facebook, like we had MySpace and you have pictures and you can make, all your stuff and the music and all that, right? And it was a way to connect with people, and then you have Facebook so that your friends from college and your family could keep in touch, and just to let them know what you're doing. I think Instagram is kind of where the tides kind of changed to where social media now is just about look at me, look at me, look at me. And there's no message behind it, like people buying expensive stuff, using loans and sinking into debt. Oh yeah. Yeah. So why would you be jealous of that? Like who cares if they're not humble about that? Because that debt and those bills are going to humble them eventually when all that stuff gets taken away, and they're not able to rent a house or, buy a house because they've you know, taking out all these loans or maxed out their credit cards trying to floss for the gram, you know, and you know 90% of what you see online is fake anyway. People are fronting. People are out here lying. Don't believe half of it. I will literally watch somebody say one thing and literally 2 sentences later, they will contradict what they just said. And I'm like, yo. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe it. You know? That's not something that you need to worry about and want to humble a person. Trust me, the Most High will humble them. The Most High will humble them all the time. We don't have to do anything. It's not our job. It's not our job. Life will humble them. Reality will set in. Like we talk about delusional people, how people are delusional. There's no reason to bust a person's bubble and say, hey, you're not going to get this because you're not. Don't even worry about it. Reality will set in and they will see, hey, what you're doing is not working. You have to change this if you want this. No reason. I don't have a reason to come out here and tell anybody what they're doing is wrong, because guess what? Life will show you. Capricorn, that's right. Aram. What you laughing at, Aram? When we like someone, we start that thing that we don't want. When we like someone, we start things that we don't want. Oh, I don't understand that one. I'm sorry. Thanks, Aram. Y'all, it's hot. It's like a little breeze, but not breezy enough right here. I'm not going to stay on here. What up, Donovan? How are you doing? How you feeling today? What's the climate like where you at? Not the weather climate, but just the temperature in the air. What's the atmosphere? What the people acting like? It's real quiet where I'm at. Every business I go into is quiet. The women are quiet. The men seem to be a little bit more jovial than the women. And then I was telling earlier how a girl that I know called me last night crying. And it was funny because she automatically assumed because I was a black woman that I was a Harris supporter. So she's going in on Trump and I'm just listening and I'm just like, And I told her, listen, ain't nothing you can do about it. What's done is done. Did you do your part? Did you vote? Of course. Well then, you did your part, but it was a 50-50 chance. You'll live. But this just shows how America feels about women. Just shows how what America thinks about women and people of color. I said, girl, you are the most privileged person I know with your blonde hair and blue eyes. If you don't get the fuck off my phone. I gave her some words of wisdom, some words of encouragement, and I told her to recite the Serenity Prayer. And then I got on off the phone. You just told us about them. I was repeating it for Donovan, Aram. These ninjas mad talking about they going to send the slave. That is funny. 4 people from India, that's what's up. Yes, Emily. Extremely delusional. But, you know, rather than talk about them, let's just pray for them and hope that they see the light, you know. And like I said, reality will show them. That's all you can do. That's why I try not to argue with people or fuss or anything like that. I just let it be. I'll have to let it be, because that's for my sanity too, right? You got to think about yourself and how we allow things to trigger us. We can't do that, because what they got going on is their problem. I'm learning to be empathetic, but not let it penetrate my spirit. I could be empathetic and then cut it off. Be empathetic, help out where I can, and then move on. I don't hold on to other people's trauma anymore. You know, I still feel really, really bad about certain things, especially, you know, if the person is close to me. I'll hold on to certain things for a while, especially if they're going through a lot. It bothers me a lot. You know, I know a lot of people going through a lot of different things, and it really bothers me a lot. But I also have to remember that I have to preserve my energy for me, so that I could be here for myself first, so that I could properly serve God, and also for my son. So, yeah. You know, I have a problem with all my girls. They just see all the money being spent on Instagram, cars. Yeah, and so that's what you got to figure out. Imar, you got to figure out what's best for your household, because I don't know if you're a male or a woman, if you're a man or a woman, but you just, these are your girls. So that means you are the head of the household. So you might want to start implementing some rules and regulations as far as access to certain things and how much time they spend on there. Because yes, these young kids are now being raised by the television. I watched, who did I watch last night? I watched something, and it was an awesome discussion about our kids being exposed because we're allowing social media and television. Oh, Candace Owens and Nick Cannon. Candace Owens and Nick Cannon had a show. I was watching a guy who was reviewing it or reacting to it. And she was talking about how Hollywood has an agenda, and how, because we're busy working, or we're also addicted to our phones, we're allowing our kids to have exposure to the agendas of Hollywood through social media and on TV and on the big screen, right? So what we have to do really is just limit that stuff. Watch what they're watching, of course, limit it, and also have discussions with your kids. And that's what I try to do. Sometimes I try to sneak in and watch, like whatever my son watches on YouTube, I can see it on my phone if I go to watch history. So I like that because I can see what he's looking at, and certain things, like especially like science-based, and sometimes he'll run into like religious science stuff that be talking all kind of, I have to come behind him and say, hey, this is what you watch, but this is what it is, and then I just talk to him about it. We always have, hey Skinny, we always have discussions about the stuff that we watch. We can go to the movie, and guess what, after that movie, me and him gonna have a breakdown of what he thought about it, certain things that happened in the movie, what he thought about it, why this was right, why this was wrong, why do you think this happened? So you just continue having the conversations with your kids and explaining to them that material means absolutely nothing. It's about what's in the heart. It's really about the character of a person. It's all about the character, not about what they got on. But social media will have you thinking that only your money is what matters. And truth be told, those people aren't happy. That's why you see millionaires and billionaires that unalive themselves, because money ain't everything. You think it is until you get a bunch of it, and then you're like, dang, I'm still lonely. Dang, I'm bored now. I done everything I wanted to do. Now what? Money ain't everything. So you have to just keep reiterating that and hope that it takes. Imar says, and they all think I'm a loser because I'm a normal person with normal ways, so they always complain. Oh, you're talking about girls that you date. Then those girls just aren't for you. Those girls just aren't for you. If they think you're a loser, let them think that. But I hope you're doing something to increase your rage, not so that you can get the girls. I mean, that comes later. But I hope you're pursuing education or a trade or something like that, so that you can get a better job and have more money, so that you will have a better quality of life. And then in that will come, the women. But yeah, if a girl don't like you right now for what she just ain't the one, bruh. Go for the one that's maybe a little bit quieter and not so flashy. You probably like the ones that are gold diggers, or that are just out for men with money, but again, there's nothing wrong with a woman wanting more. There's nothing wrong with a woman desiring, a man that's going to go out on dates and, things like that. So you just got to find who's for you at the end of the day. He's going to be a genius. Who? My son? He better be something. Everything that I'm invested in this kid, like he's learning Arabic. He's been doing that for almost a year, thanks to our cousin Halim, who pays for it. He's in boxing right now. He's awesome at chess, at the top of his class. That's why I need God. There's so many things, other things that I want to do with my son. I'm just waiting on God. I'm just waiting on God. Waiting on God. Do you think the old times, when there were no phones, there was pure love, you just met a girl and never see her again, and you think about, yes, I remember, oh my God, When I was little, when I was like 13, I remember picking up my grandpa from the airport with my mom and them, and there was this guy that I saw, and I would think about this guy for like a year. Never got a chance to talk to him. He was just a random other teenager in the airport, and I thought about this kid for like a year. I made up a name for him. I imagined us like meeting again. I miss those days. Such innocence. Now with all the girls naked online, man can just be happy with one woman. Well, you know, you got to know your weaknesses too as a man, especially if you marry. You got to know what tempts you and what doesn't, and you have to be strong enough to resist those temptations. Hey, I shared on my platforms. You guys do the same and hit that like. Thanks, Donovan. I appreciate you so much, especially all the work you guys. Make sure you check out Donovan Sadik's channel too. Dropping that knowledge. He's a political pundit. He out here doing the dang things, and I honestly feel like him and Demetri K were very instrumental in Trump winning because of the hard work that they put in month after month, week after week on their platform. I mean, they changed so many people's minds and made a lot of people a recovering Democrat just like Donovan. So shout out to them. Make sure you guys go to their channel if you're into politics and especially how it affects the black community. Really, really good stuff. Todd Papagram. I don't know about that. I hope not. That sounds like me. Are you sure you didn't see me? That wasn't you, Donovan. I was a kid, and this was in San Diego, Lindbergh Field Airport, picking up my grandpa who used to fly in all the time. Well, not all the time. He'd come in like maybe 3 times a year and spoil us. And you know, he was a Rolling Stone, but he was stationed in Connecticut, and he ended up just staying there, bought all kind of properties and stuff like that. My grandpa did excellent. He's like, man, my biggest role model, man, right there. I mean, he may have did my granny wrong, but he did right by his grandkids. I tell you what. So I ain't got no problem with him. Hey, Foolish. I hope you're having a great and blessed day. I am, Foolish. How are you? Are you having a great and blessed day? I am. No complaints. I mean, I could always complain. You know, like earlier I was talking about missing home, being around people, like-minded people and things like that, and how I have to come on here to feel fulfilled, you know, as far as like engagement and, you know, just feeling like human. And I think it's crazy that I have to come online to kind of feel that, you know, but it is what it is. I got to do more on the outside, but I'll get there. Just getting off work, about to work out. That's what's up. So I was telling Vicky earlier, I got my workout gear on, you know, as motivation, inspiration. When my son is done with his appointment, I'm gonna go work out. So that's good. I was never a morning workout person. I used to always have to after work too. Like, I can't do that mess early. It's too early, You know, let me get through the day and then burn off all of that at the end of the day. Hey, Lady Diana. How are you? I'm about to get off of here, though. I miss the old days. I imagine myself being with my girl, and she doesn't see any of them rich people online, and she'll be thinking I am the best, and me too, while she is the only one I have seen naked. Well, that's the thing, too, Imar. You know, you can't control what other people do and how they think, right? But I think once you find a woman that you truly, truly love and desire, you're going to want to give her the world. And if you want to take care of your woman, you're going to do what you have to do to get your money up so that you can provide for her and give her the things that she desires. She may not get it all, but I think if you explain to her, you know, your love for her, do little things here and there in the meantime, but do what you got to do in order to fully provide for her, you know, but you got to find the one that's worth doing all that for too. Run the likes up, you heard? Ciao. It's okay. Heading to work, Mo. Have a great rest of your day. You too, Shots. Are you going to be online later? If so, I'm going to tap in tonight. The devil had penetrated our souls through our... Imar, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. And, you know, yeah, you ain't lying. All the stuff we see, it's a perfect portal for him to just penetrate us. You know, and next thing you know, we got all kind of spirits on us and we online speaking demonic rhetoric, and people are on board because it's speaking to their souls. Speaking to their souls because they want to live in that negativity and that toxicity, and it feels comfortable to them. It's convenient. It feels good. That toxic, nasty, pitiful, evil, it's speaking to their souls. You are absolutely right. So we got to watch what we have to watch out for, what it is that we expose ourselves to, right? Thank you for the positive vibes. You too, Emar. Make sure you come on back now. Make sure you come on back. All right, you guys, I got to go. My son's about to get out of his appointment. I don't want to just shut off like I normally do. I usually just say, bye, and then click, and then y'all be like, wait a minute. I just asked like 2 questions. So I apologize, but I do got to go. I'll talk to you guys later. God bless you, and you guys have a great night, okay? I'll see you soon.